Welcome back to the Bulldogs Bark Podcast. I'm Sydney Gordeski, and I'm so excited to introduce our first ever episode in the How to High School series with rising sophomore, former freshman, Emily Grasso. In this episode, Emily, and you'll hear a little bit of participation from another friend in the room, Amanda. They import wisdom to the upcoming freshman class on what it's like to balance this class schedule, the differences between high school and middle school, and the ways in which they have found success in their freshman year. This series is short and sweet, so you can get all the information you need in a succinct amount of time. Thank you again for listening, and make sure to stay tuned for our next episode with sophomore Avner Chaplin. So for the people coming up from 8th grade into freshman year, can you explain how orchestra helped you? What need did that serve in your day?
Personally, it's a lot more fun picking up an instrument and playing that than having to solve a math problem. So that was definitely a lot of fun. And also, like I said before, I knew the teacher, so I knew how he was, like how he would teach the class. So it really was a good start to the day.
Yeah. You walk in, I think it was September 9th.
Yes.
2022. What happens? Is high school so different than walking into middle school?
It's definitely different. Well, you're not fully alone, but you definitely have a lot more responsibility. I mean, like, you're responsible. Not that you're not responsible in middle school, but you have to be on top of your assignments and everything. But also, you're able to be more free. And the thing is that the teachers, they expect you to if you want a better grade or something, you should, like, work towards it.
Self-advocacy.
Yes, self-advocacy, which is so different from middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in middle school, it's kind of like a practice for high school. Right. And even if you're told a million times over that freshman year doesn't count, they don't look at it or whatever, it still feels just as serious. So for you, what was your attitude going in to high school? Did you know what to expect?
I was personally very excited. I was ready to, close out that middle school chapter of my life and, open a new one. Like I said before, it's very different, and I was ready for that responsibility of managing all of my tasks, especially like with my extracurriculars. Right. I knew that would be a struggle, but I was ready to take on that.
So you mentioned extracurriculars. I think something, when I was preparing for this, something I thought of the most is, and I think of it all the time, but especially when preparing these questions, I know what your extracurriculars are. Explain to everyone what your extracurriculars are, and then we can go from there.
Okay. So my extracurricular mostly is dance.
Yes.
I dance. This year I dance every day, 7 days a week. And
for how many hours a day?
How many?
It probably varied, but just on average.
Varied from 2 hours to 5 hours a day. Yeah, I think the least I was there was an hour and a half at most. Mm-hmm. I was a part of student council, and I was also part of Footlighters.
Oh, right. I don't know why I forgot that.
Which definitely caused conflict.
What do you mean by conflict? Like scheduling conflict?
Scheduling wise, yes. So, like, there would be times where we would have Footlighters rehearsal, like, right in the middle of my dance classes, which my dance studio is very good with letting me go to rehearsals and sometimes skipping class, but also I have to be responsible for knowing my dances and what I'm doing, because I'm at that age where I'm not going to be babied and taught, what I miss. Like, right. I have to be responsible for myself.
With Footlighters, there's a lot of late nights, and I know that you were no stranger to that at dance. How do you balance your time when you know that you're going to be somewhere, your activity's ending at 10 or 11, but you still have all this homework to do?
Right. So a big thing for me has been writing down everything. I struggled a lot in the beginning of the year because I would think, I don't have any homework assignments. This is great. I can go to bed on the earlier side. When really it would be 8:30 and I'm like, oh shoot, I have math homework that I didn't do yet. So writing it down has been probably like one of the best things I've learned to do. Planner, yes.
Homework planners.
Yes, that's true, planner.
The writing everything down has been like the biggest help for you. When you're writing stuff down, I want to get really specific. When you're writing stuff down, are you writing down just what you have to do? Are you writing down due dates? Are you time blocking?
Mostly I know when it's due because usually it'll say like on Google Classroom or whatever. But if I just like have like, oh, math homework, I'll be like, oh, right, I have to go on big ideas and do my math homework or something like that. And usually that'll save me from
Right.
a late assignment.
What are the main differences between high school and middle school?
You're also able to interact with more grades, upperclassmen. You're
Right.
able to meet new people. And you're also able to become more involved in
Right.
clubs and organizations.
Exactly. Things definitely, they shift with, especially like with all these level classes,
Yeah.
who you end up with shifts.
I don't like there are people in our grade that I don't see like throughout. Like I don't think I've seen once at all this year. Like it's just our paths just like don't cross, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Like you mentioned paths going a different way, and whether it's extracurriculars or how studious people are, just the people that our grade mates are becoming. How have you observed people going on different paths, and how have you tried to keep up connections with people who are on a completely different path?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's actually been hard. I've tried to like be like, oh hey, if I even have like a day off, I'll be like, oh hey, do you want to meet up and study together, or do you want to hang out after school, go to the mall, whatever. I think that's really like the only way I've been able to keep up connections because I'm always at dance, which is also a good thing.
I can't think of a better way to end that episode other than on that beautiful high note. Thank you so much, Emily, for participating in this series. I really hope that the upcoming freshmen of this year and the years to follow find this episode helpful and informative. And as always, the upperclassmen people, friends, are so happy to have you at the high school, and we're more than willing to help and just be there for you as you adjust. Thank you so much for listening to this series, and stay tuned for the next episode with our sophomore.